Okay, so I've been asked to make a video about how I make my chili. This is my mom, Isabel, was from New Mexico, and so this is New Mexico style chili. So this is the major thing you gotta get is red chili powder from New Mexico, pinto beans, ground beef, olive oil, and salt. And that's pretty much it. Now, probably gonna make tortillas too, so I did buy some unbleached flour, which is going to give us a little more flavor. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do though is, since we're going to put these in a crock pot in the morning, we need to soak the beans. So I have some filtered water here, and I'm going to put the beans in there. So this is just a 1 pound bag of pinto beans. I've never really measured anything, so okay, and you want to make sure you have enough water in there so that when the beans fill up with water and rise, that they don't go over the edge of water, the surface of the water. You want them underwater, so they're all soaking evenly. And then in the morning, we're going to rinse these before we put them in the crock pot, because you'd be surprised how much dirt is actually in pinto beans bags. And so, okay, part 2 will be putting these in the crock pot. We need to get those cooking. We're going to brown the beef, put in a little bit of olive oil and salt, and the red chili powder. Okay, I forgot the tomato paste. I'm not going to use this whole can. I usually only use a small can, but this is all they had at the store. And so now the beans are all nicely soaked, still touching the water, and so we're going to throw everything in the crock pot. Rinsing the beans. Don't need a lot of rinsing. Okay, so got the beans in the pot with some water, and I'm going to put in some tomato paste, but only about half of it. Okay, so now you can also use tomato sauce. So the bigger can of sauce that you find, you can use, but I like the tomato paste a lot better. And then you need to get that water over the beans. Okay, so just a little bit of olive oil. As you see, I'm not measuring. I put in a pinch of salt, not measuring. And really, you don't want to put a lot of salt in because some people can't have salt. And so I'm going to be very liberal. Put in a lot of chili powder. And looking good. Let's mix it in. A lot of chili powder. And olive oil tastes great with the beans later after it's cooked, especially, but a little bit more of that. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn on the crock pot. I have to take off for a few hours, so I'm gonna put this on warm instead of high. So this is gonna take on warm. It's gonna take like 5 or 6 hours to cook. I mean on low. Put on low. If I were to be home, I'd put it on high. It'd take 3 or 4 hours to cook, but this is ready to go, and I will be back to brown the hamburger and toss it in. Okay, it's been several hours. Let's check the beans. think I started these at 8:30, and they're, I'm gonna give it a taste. Almost done. Very good. So I was going to crank these up in heat. They've been on low all day. It's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. They've been in here for 4.5 hours. And looks good. I think I'll add a little more chili powder. Hold on. You know what? No, I'm going to leave the chili level where it is. This looks really good juice-wise. So now I'm going to brown the hamburger and throw it in here and let it finish cooking the beans, and so that meat can soak up the chili powder. I have a habit now where I use a tall pan to cook burgers so I don't get burger grease everywhere, and then I cut it in here too so that I don't get juice all over the counter. Okay, hamburger is all broken up. Put on the heat. Alright. Okay, so let's cook that up. I'm going to turn the fan on though. That's going to be loud. Okay, so I'm grabbing a glove so I can show you. I'm going to take this chili really hot, well, the hamburger really hot, and put it in this calendar. Okay, notice I'm not even going to turn off the heat yet, because I want it hot when I'm doing this, so that a lot of that, all that fat goes down there. I think I just fogged up the screen. Hold on. Yeah, I fogged up the screen. Okay, so all on a calendar, and all that hot fat is now dripping down there. And that's how I do it.
Okay. Gonna shake it out so I don't get grease all over the floor. Just toss that in there. Okay. Now I can see if we need to add water. Once you got your meat in there. Wow, that's practically perfect. It's nice when it goes perfect for the video, right? Now, I'll just put the lid on and let it sit there for a little while. So, I'm going to probably let it cook for another, let's see, it's 1 o'clock. I'll let it cook till 2 on low. And these beans are done, baby. And then we've got to make tortillas. Oh boy, the tortillas.
Okay, just a tip. Don't pour your hamburger grease down the drain. Put it in a jar or throw it in the trash. This is going to get thrown away, but yeah, don't throw it down your drain. It'll stop up your drain. And when you do clean your dishes, make sure you run hot water and put a lot of soap down there, because you do not want that grease mucking up your drain. Hot, lots of water, lots of soap. Okay, now these look done. They look perfect. You do not want to overcook your beans or turn too mushy. So right when they're still on that edge of crunch, that's when you know they're about done. And you can see there's a couple of beans in here that have split. Uh-oh, fogged up. Okay, so here's the bean. It's split. Let's give it a taste. We'll be able to tell if it's overcooked. No, it's fine. It's done now. It's on that edge of mushy. I don't like mushy. You get any mushier, you might as well blend it into refried beans. So these babies are perfect. Time to shut it off. And I'm going to take it out of the cooker. Okay, so time to make the tortillas. And I I never measured tortillas. Never measured anything. So I'm gonna kind of hopefully work it out here. So I've got some flour. I'm gonna use unbleached. I'm gonna use baking powder, butter, a bowl, a plate, a rolling pin, and some filtered water. And so I'm going to throw it into a bowl and see how it goes. But first I'm going to soften the butter just a touch. You don't want to melt the butter. Just going to soften it, pour in some powder, flour, baking powder, and some water, and try to get it the consistency of Play-Doh so I can roll it into balls. So, a stick of butter, I'm going to soften it a little bit. Just going to try 10 seconds, see how it looks. It's already very soft. I think that's probably good. Soft enough. Okay, so I've covered up that butter. I'm going to put just a small amount of baking powder in here. Just a dash. See that? Very tiny spoon. You don't want a lot in there. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to mix that butter in there. And mix it around. Let's put a little bit of filtered water in there now. I put about a half a cup of water in here. See how we're looking? Now, remember, I'm after Play-Doh is what I'm after. Maybe I should get a Play-Doh recipe. Eh? It's already, the consistency is already doing really well. It's see how it looks? Kind of looks funky. Some more water. That was just a quick squirt of filtered water. I have a filtered water on my sink, so it's nice to have good water for cooking. Let's see how we're doing here. Pretty soon now I'm going to have to put my hands in here so I can feel it. So I'm going to wash my hands and then start to wrestle. One of the things you can do, you know, you're making your tortilla balls, and you can just if it's sticky, just dunk it in that flour. Sticky gone. I took that bigger one, I made it smaller. You're better off with smaller tortillas, honestly. Big ones are fun, but they're easier to roll, easier to cook if they're small. Okay, looks like I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 tortilla balls. Alright. Another tip, I just went ahead and wiped clean my surface again because you don't want anything on there because it can tear your tortilla when you're rolling the tortilla. Okay. And for the hot plate, we do not want oil on the pan. Okay. You want a nice surface. I'm going to turn that fan on because as soon as I'm rolling these things, I'm throwing them on the thing, okay? Another tip, I forgot to tell you. keep your tortilla balls covered because they will dry out. That is why we do that. Okay, surface is dry. Pan, plate for the tortillas, towel. After I make a tortilla, I'm going to cover, and they're made, I'm going to cover it with a towel, just to keep it clean and moist. And let's turn on the gas, turn on the air. Another square tortilla, that's okay. So this tortilla back here on the plate bubbled up a lot, so I popped those bubbles. You get that beautiful scorching on there. See that? Little brown patches from where the bubbles were. Oh yeah. Wow. You don't want raw tortilla, that's gross. Looking good. Woohoo! Number 2. See how it slides nice on a nice dry surface? Okay, that's the last tortilla rolled out. As you can see, it's not very round. Tortillas do not need to be round. I got just a couple left to cook. And when you're cooking with your kids, they get the joy of popping the bubbles in the tortillas, smacking them down. So, last 3. Last tortilla. Let's see if we can watch it bubble up. Alright, beans and tortillas are done. Got myself a little bowl, and I am going to take a taste of this chili and this tortilla. Rip off a little square, a little bit, make a little pouch like that, and you put it in there. Oh man. I'm going to add a little salt because there's no salt. Add a little olive oil. And I might add a little more hot pepper. Oh man. Okay. So this chili powder came from loschileros.com. Can you see it? loschileros.com. Alright, that's it. That's the chili. And hope you enjoy my chili. I'm going to enjoy some more chili. And I'm not even adding salt right now. It's so good. I'm so hungry. This is dedicated to my mom, Isabel, my family, and my friend Tim. who demanded I make a video. Here you go, buddy.